because it's very easy for you to just think that this is who you are. This is all you can do, especially if you have a Monday to Friday job, pays your bills, it pays your mortgage, and then you come home on a Friday night, you have a beer or a wine and watch Netflix, and you have the weekend off, and then there you go, we're doing the same thing again. I'm not judging anyone, but I'm saying like this is what you can settle for. You can settle for that, what you've always known, or you can open your mind and say, this is not the end of the road. This is not the be all and end all. This is not where I'm going to be in 20 years. And that's what really changed my life.
I'm Luke, and you're listening to the Luke Mind Power Podcast.
The Luke Mind Power Podcast is in the house. What's up, guys? Hope you're doing amazing. It's a blessing to be alive. I'm super pumped for this episode, and I hope that you are too. Before I begin, another big shout out to my sponsor for the Luke Mind Power Podcast at the moment and for this amazing episode, Sunshine Ambazina on YouTube. The link is in the description below. Go ahead and subscribe to Sunshine Ambazina's YouTube channel. She does auctions during the week, and she sells these beautiful, amazing amber necklaces, amber pendants, amber rings, all this stuff from amber and other fashion accessories and jewelry and stuff like that. Or she does a lot of the stuff by herself. It's really powerful. She's also a family member of mine who helped me so much on my journey of transformation and success. 4 years ago, I got to see her a couple of weeks ago. She's absolutely amazing. Check her out on YouTube. Anyway, let's get ready for some action, okay? Now, everything you want is on the other side of action, and one of the things that you have to start to do in your life is to trust yourself, because many things outside of ourselves cause us to think that we're not capable or make us doubt ourselves, doubt our abilities, doubt our future, and this is the most important part of your life. I can say definitely that I'm not perfect. There's so much going on around the world. There's so much happening on social media. There's so much happening on TV. There's so many influences that come in from the outside world, and it's very easy for us to not realize and not pay attention as to how it's actually making an impression on the way that we think. And the truth is, what I've learned as well, even though I'm really, really aware of like what I watch and what I consume in my mind, because again, like what you put in is what comes out. And people are always showing you what they have within themselves because of what they watch, who they surround themselves with, what experiences they've gone through. The more you do, the more you can do. Hence why it's so important for you to experience things. And, that's why I continue to go to retreats and do events and do things that are out of my comfort zone, because it expands my level of self-consciousness. And what does that mean? That means that my mind is not just in its comfort zone all the time, where it's doing the same shit, going around in circles. Like, so many of us are just going around in fucking circles doing the same shit over and over. And if that's fulfilling you right now, beautiful. I support you. I encourage you to keep doing what makes you happy. But my purpose is to help you become aware of what it is that you're not doing that you could be doing, or to give you the inspiration to know that for things to change, you have to change. And for you to be aware that if you don't take risks in your life, you will be stuck. And in the next 5 years, you'll look back and you'll be like, I'm still in the same place, still doing the same shit. There's no right or wrong. And it really does depend on your circumstances as well, because, when you think about someone like myself, who's an entrepreneur, who's a coach, who's a motivational speaker, I travel around a lot, I'm living from my freaking suitcase. I travel around and do my podcasts from different places. And I think that, there will be a point in time that comes that, maybe I will be in a relationship, or I'll get more settled, and I'll have, my base right now is Dubai. That's where that's like my home base, but at the moment I'm obviously traveling. But, like, especially when kids get involved, or you have a mortgage, or you have these kind of big responsibilities, there's things that kind of tie you down. You know what I mean? To kind of where you are, and you're in this confined space where you can't move. And let me tell you that thinking about that right now, and I know that this is the most of the population, most of us live this way, but it doesn't have to be that way. Like, this is the beautiful part about like technology and social media and how the world is evolving, is that you don't have to live like that anymore. You don't have to have a family, stay in the one place, and live in the same location, the same environment, doing the same shit over and over and over again. I have heard stories of entrepreneurs or speakers as well. Dan Ram from the UK, he was born in, I think, Africa somewhere, but his parents, because they were, you know, political dignitaries or whatever it is, he was like going from, and I know, I get it, like you can say, yeah, but it's not good for the kid, you keep moving the kid around into different schools and different this and different that and different environments, different countries, and then the kid doesn't know its identity, doesn't know what it is. But, it really, I think it's just having an open mind of like, you don't have to stay in the one place. And because of what I'm experiencing, again, that's why I'm talking about it, because it doesn't have to be the same as how it's always been. And so this is just planting seeds to open your mind to think, okay, we've been here for 10 years. Is this where we want to be in 10 years' time? And I know that what we really do is we tend to do what's comfortable, and we have this conversation of like, well, I've got family here, I've got friends here, this is what's comfortable, this is what I know, and so I'm just going to stay here. And so my question to you is, are you limiting yourself because you're staying in your comfort zone? You may have your job, you may have your kids, you may have your family, you may have your friends, and that's what feels comfortable. But is what feels comfortable going to help you expand? Is it going to help you to become more? Is it going to help you to expand your level of consciousness to become who you're supposed to be? Are you limiting yourself because you're staying comfortable? Because in order for you to live an extraordinary life, you've got to do things that are out of the ordinary. Right? And again, everyone's different. But if you're listening to the Luke Mind Power podcast, then I'm very, very, I have a big hunch that, you don't want to live an ordinary life. You want to live an extraordinary life. And look, when you work with me, when you listen to this kind of information, it is about massive success. I'm not here to limit you and to tell you, oh, that's enough. This is just the level of your life, and this is all you can achieve, and this is all you can do. Bullshit. You can do absolutely anything. The hardest part about change and growth is many of us feel judged, unwanted. People don't understand us. And we don't have that additional support that we think we would have if and when we start making these kind of decisions. So we're afraid, because we're afraid of losing people. We're afraid of, having to go into a new environment where we don't know anyone and having to meet new people or make new friends and all this kind of stuff. So we kind of limit ourselves in this environment of like, well, this is where my parents are. This is where my sisters are. This is where my friends are. And so this is where I have to be. And it's like, no, you don't. You can be wherever the fuck you want to be. You don't need to confine yourself because your parents are there. You don't need to stay in a freaking location because you've got a mortgage. Like, that's like a death sentence. I'm going to stay here for the next 30 years because I have a mortgage and I have to pay off the house. And I know that some of you guys, you go, yeah, but we want security and all that shit. And it's like, yeah, but you're locking yourself up. And I guess I'm pushing the limits here. I'm pushing the limits because it's very easy for you to just think that this is who you are. This is all you can do, especially if you have a Monday to Friday job, and it pays your bills, it pays your mortgage, and then you come home on a Friday night, you have a beer or a wine and watch Netflix, and you have the weekend off, and then there you go again, Monday, doing the same thing again. And I'm saying, like, I'm not judging anyone, but I'm saying, like, this is what you can settle for. This is what you can settle for. You can settle for that. You can settle for, what you've always known, or you can open your mind and say, this is not the end of the road. This is not the be all and end all. This is not where I'm going to be in 20 years. And that's what really changed my life when I first thought about it in 2018, when I was looking at a friend of mine from work, and I was just like, he'd been working in this position as a driver examiner for 20 years. And again, nothing against him, but I was thinking about myself. So, I want you to look at yourself and to ask yourself the question, like, do I see myself, is this me in 20 years? Is this the kind of life I want to be living, even in 10 years? If you haven't already started it, like, it starts today, and this is one of the biggest fears for us, is that we can't achieve it, or that we can't do it, or we don't know what's going to happen. We've got all this uncertainty, which scares us. So some of us don't even get started on the next level, on our dream, or on our growth, on our healing, on our transformation, on stepping into our greatness, on discovering what we're passionate about. Some of us never do it because we're just afraid and we're just conforming, and conformity is the death of your dreams. Conformity is the death of yourself. Conformity is the death of who you're truly meant to be. It's like you're trying to just fit in, and that's disgusting because you're not born to fit in. There's no one else out there that looks exactly like you. There's no one else out there that has a story like yours. There's no one else out there that has lived the life that you have lived, and yet you try to fit in. So let's look at that for a moment and go, well, why do we try to fit in? Were we not accepted when we were younger? Were we rejected? Were we not validated enough? Were we not encouraged enough? Were we not loved enough that we want to fit in so that we feel included, accepted? So we're giving our power away to the external world so that we feel enough. Because when we're accepted, that's enough, isn't it? You feel enough when you're accepted because people are like, oh yeah, you're part of the team, you're part of, this work environment, or you're part of the family, or you're part of this community. And yes, we do gravitate towards something that's greater than us. Everyone wants to be a part of something that is bigger than who we are. And I understand that. But make sure that you're a part of a community of like-minded people that lift you up and encourage you to live your dreams and for you to expand your level of consciousness so that you can actually reach new levels of your potential every single fucking day. Because your life is a journey, and every day you have a new opportunity for you to expand and grow and learn and become and more and more and more. And this is where your fulfillment comes from, because staying the same and staying stagnant is where depression comes in, is where you don't feel good about life because nothing is changing, nothing is evolving, it's just staying. Everyone's looking for more fulfillment or more peace or happiness and it's like, yeah, well, it's not going to be where you are. And if it's not where you are, then you need to move. Most of us don't move. We're stuck. We feel stuck. And the reason why I say this is because I felt stuck for so many years. I was stuck. I was asking questions. I was just like living with what was happening around me. Every weekend there was an event. Every weekend there was a party. Every weekend we were snorting coke. Every weekend we were drinking. Every weekend there was a birthday. And that's why I also have to find my balance, like with my own family, because I have a big family, man. I got 10 nieces and nephews. I got 3 older sisters. All my family's in Australia at the moment. And I got family in Poland, in Chicago, so there's a lot, but especially in Australia, I choose to live in Dubai. One of the reasons why I choose to live in Dubai is because I don't want to be so close to my family. Because when I'm so close to my family, then I can't focus on me. Then I can't focus on my business. Then I can't focus on my success. And some people could say, well, that's very selfish of you. Some people could say, but oh my God, if I had a family like that, I'd be really close to them. But life is about balance. I'm not taking them for granted. I look forward to seeing them now because I haven't seen them for a few months. But see, when we're so close, you see them so often that you don't appreciate it as much. It's just like, oh yeah, she's around the corner. Let's go to auntie's house, or let's go to uncle's house, or let's go see my mum. But then when you don't have something for a certain amount of time, there's a different level of appreciation. That's why life is about balance. So I look forward to going back for Christmas and spending some time with my family. And then guess what? See you later. I'm out again. So you need to be able to find that balance for yourself, because sometimes you can give too much of yourself, and then what happens is everything else goes on the back burner. Your dreams, your goals, your visions, your health, your mental health, your spiritual health, your physical health, your routine, everything. And everything starts with you. You're the one that's in control of everything. You're the one that determines your level of success and your new direction and your new path of where you want to go. But it also depends on the energy that you have. And the energy only comes because you pour into yourself and because of the environment that you surround yourself with. And if it's not a positive environment, an encouraging environment, an environment that actually lifts you up and promotes growth and encourages you to expand, and yes, go and take action, go and fucking work on yourself, go and become a better version of yourself, go and do what's right for you. If you don't have an environment like that, then you're fucking missing out. That's the issue with many of us. It's like, why do you want to do that? Why do you want to grow? Why do you want to go to that event? Why do you want to do work on yourself? Why do you want to do this personal development course? Why do you want to work on your healing? Why do you want to become a better version of yourself? Why do you want to live your dreams? Why do you want to change from the job that you've got right now? It's comfortable. It has good benefits. It's gotten you to where you are right now. You should be grateful. You should keep doing what you've always done. See, that's the limited thinking. And so many people, you either have a fixed mindset or you have a growth mindset. And when you change from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset, then you realize that there's nothing that's impossible in your life because everything is always expanding. And that's the purpose of you. First of all, if you haven't discovered a purpose could be, my purpose is to expand. My purpose is to grow. The amount of information that we can store in our mind is just unlimited. The amount of stuff that you can learn because of the experiences that you take yourself through, because of the environments that you surround yourself with, because of what you read and watch and listen to every single day makes a massive difference. And listen, you can sit on social media and think to yourself, oh, that person's too smart. That person, I could never be like that. And there you are comparing yourself because you have a low self-esteem or low self-confidence or low self-worth because you haven't worked on yourself enough. Because once you do work on yourself, you don't need to compare yourself because you know that you're powerful within yourself and everybody else has their own path. Everybody else is in their own lane. Leave them the fuck alone. Don't worry about other people. Let them fucking do their thing. That's their fucking purpose. That's their life. Let them fucking speak how they want to speak, just like I am. I'm not sitting here fucking looking at other people going, they're better than me. I just want to fucking focus on my shit, as should you. But if you keep letting fucking other people come in your way and you drain your energy because you keep being in the wrong environments and you keep being in places that don't complement your life and you keep surrounding yourself with energy that doesn't, give you what you need as you give it what it needs because you're a powerful person, then you have to make very, very discerning, very powerful decisions in your life every single day. Is this serving me? Is this healthy for me? Is this empowering me? Is this good? Is it healthy? Are the relationships and the friendships and the people in my life, are the experiences, are they good for me? Do they help me elevate? Do they empower the fuck out of me so I can grow and become more? Or are you just living in this comfortable state? This is what I've known my whole life. This is who I am. This is who I've been. This is the people in my life. This is my family. This is my house. This is my environment. This is my suburb. This is my home. The world is your oyster. The world is your home. It's up to you to decide where you want to be in 10 years' time. Because the action that you take today determines who you become tomorrow. And as you do this over and over and over and over again, man, you transform your life. And that's why I'm telling you, like when you start, and I said this to my clients yesterday, I said, once you start, you don't stop. Once you do this kind of work, start working on yourself. Start building stronger love for yourself, acceptance, your healing, overcoming your past, clearing that shit from your mind so it doesn't infiltrate you and drain your energy every single day and cause for you to be in depression or anxiety constantly. Once you clear that up, you're in control. And once you're in control and you've started the journey, you've had breakthroughs already because you've overcome. And once you've overcome, guess what? You know what kind of effort and work that it took for you to do that, and you will never, ever, ever go back. You're done. The only thing that you need to keep doing is keep growing, keep taking action. Because if you think about the amount of years that you've lived in your life so far, like let's, for example, say that you have done nothing. You've done nothing. You've never worked on yourself. You've been in a Let's just give a scenario, okay? Let's just say you've been married for 25 years. You've just come to realize that you're in a really unhealthy relationship and you're not feeling good. You're having health problems. Things are really not seeming the way that they should be. You're there going, is this really? You're starting to question yourself. So this is a long time. Like you've been alive for like 40 years, 45 years, like whatever. Like that's your life so far. You've never worked on yourself. You've never tried to address any of your emotional trauma or any of your pain or insecurities or doubts or fears or anything that you've been through. Like let's say that's you. So you've done nothing. You've just settled basically because you believed that this was life and this is what it's supposed to be, right? So all of a sudden let's say you stumble across this podcast, for example, and you start hearing me speak and you're just like, who is this guy? some of this stuff is really making sense to me. Am I in my own way? And then you start to question and you're like, shit, maybe I need to do some work. Maybe I need to work on myself. Maybe I need to build more confidence. Maybe I need to build more self-love. What's self-love? Some people probably haven't even heard about it. I hadn't heard about it. Freaking 2018, I never heard about self-love. It wasn't until I did a speaking course that I heard about it. And I learned about it. And it changed my life. You know? So some of us are just not even aware of like personal development, that you can work on yourself. So all of a sudden, you want to step into the arena, because for most of your life, you've been sitting in the stadium on the stands and you've just been watching everybody else playing on the field. But all of a sudden now, something's been triggered in your mind because you're becoming a little bit of aware of like your feelings and your health is suffering and things are kind of not going in the right direction in your life, not as you expected, right? You thought that you'd be more successful. Maybe you thought you'd have a house, or maybe you thought you'd have a car, or maybe you thought you'd be married by now. Maybe you're not in a relationship. You've just been living your life the way it has been, and you've been working for the last 30 years at the same job, whatever. All of a sudden, you start to question shit. And you're just like, is this it? Is this all there is? Because once you step onto the field and you say, I am done. I'm not sitting on the freaking bench anymore. I'm not sitting in the stands. I'm going out there and I'm going to go and play on the field. So when you start doing this work, I just want to warn you and help you understand that there is a lot of time in your life right now that you have been conditioned and programmed to think a specific way, be a specific way, believe a specific way. That's a lot. Like those neural pathways in your mind are so freaking strong that I don't want you to be ignorant and think that when you start doing work on yourself that things are just going to change in 4 weeks. It's an ongoing battle of you. This is the version of you that you've always been. And all of a sudden, you've created this new possibility, this new opportunity of this new version of yourself now. And so all of a sudden, you start working on yourself and you're trying to pull yourself away from this old version of you. This is the new version of you, and you're trying to pull yourself away. But this old version of you, every time you slow down and you don't keep going, you don't stay motivated, you don't surround yourself with the right environment, you don't stay positive, you don't keep loving yourself and taking action every single day, this old version of you keeps creeping up. And then you go, okay, I better keep working on myself. And then you start moving away again. And so it is a battle between you creating this new version of yourself, healing your past, and the old version of you always kind of lingering there and trying to fucking pull you back. The other truth of this journey is realizing that when you start doing work on yourself, this new version of yourself emerges, this new light, this new possibility, this new growth mindset, this new self-awareness. What happens within the first week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, you get breakthroughs. You get aha moments. You get, oh my God. You get, wow. You get, I didn't know I could do that. You get, oh my gosh, I'm starting to love myself. Oh my gosh, I'm speaking my truth. Oh my gosh, I'm building confidence. Oh my gosh, I never knew I could do this. And when you go through that shit, that's evidence. That's power. Because there's going to be times where you're going to feel like giving up. There's going to be times where you're going to feel like you're falling backwards. And you've got to look at the evidence that you've created, the evidence, the growth that you've achieved of all the work that you've done, because that's your rescue when you feel like you're falling back. Because you got to look and go, oh my God, no, hang on a second. I've been working on myself. I've been doing all this work. I've become this new version of myself. And I have evidence to prove that the work that I was doing was helping me grow. And so that's why I'm saying once you start this journey, you will never, ever go back to what hurt you, unless you stop growing. And now the truth is, why would you want to stop growing? The only reason why you're going to stop growing is because of fear. The fear of continuous change, the fear of the unknown, the fear of the unfamiliar, the fear of not knowing what to do next. And that's why when we think about that, what happens? We go to indecision is the cause of all your worries. Because you'll find yourself after you've done some work on yourself in a very prominent position to be able to make some really powerful decisions. But because of the life that you've created so far, there has to be some sort of separation from that which you've always known. So you can work on your mind and the way that you think and your emotional health, your spiritual health, your physical health, but your environment may be the one that's making you sick. And if you're not willing to separate yourself from the environment that you've always known yourself to live in and be in and surround yourself with and the people that you've always known yourself to know, guess what? It's all going to stay the same. You're going to be fucking drained and dragged down. You may be trying to expand your level of consciousness and self-awareness by listening to podcasts and your physical health and your emotional health and your spiritual health. But if you don't change your environment, what's going to happen is it's like a tug of war. It's like I'm pulling because I'm growing, but then the environment and all the shit that you've always been around is also going to be dragging you back. And see, there you find yourself being in your own way. And so it's like you're working on yourself, but then you still have this fear, this doubt, this insecurity, this unfamiliar opportunity that you don't know what's around the corner. But if you don't take action and take the risks, you'll find yourself in 5 years' time, in 10 years' time, being in the same place after you've done all this work. And yes, that's why I say once you start doing this work, it doesn't end, but you got to look around, man. Your answers are in your life. Your answers for what you need to do next is completely changing. And sometimes that means completely changing your environment, completely changing where you work, completely changing what you're so used to doing and being. You know, you can build this level of self-awareness. You can build this confidence in yourself. You can start doing and thinking a different way like you've never thought before. But then if you still keep surrounding yourself with that same environment, you're only the one that's in your own way. And that's why I like to move around. That's why I moved to Dubai. That's why I travel. You know, that's why I like to experience different environments because it's always helping me to expand. I'm not limited by location. And I know that some of you could say, yeah, but I've got kids and yeah, but I've got family and I've got this and I've got that, right? Again, you have to look at your life and ask yourself what you want. Okay? Because you can have reasons or results. You can't have both. And if we can become a little bit more aware of there's nothing to fear but fear itself. Most of the time, fear is just a made-up story in your mind about a future event that hasn't even happened yet, and it never really does happen because it's just your thoughts. It's just the way that your mind works. It's this defense mechanism of, I don't know, I've never been there before. It's not going to work out. Worst case scenario thinking when you don't even know, you haven't even been there. You know, it's many, many times where, you know, in the past where I would be getting up to speak or doing my coaching and thinking, oh my gosh, what am I going to talk about today? Or I'm going to fail, or it's not going to work. I'm going to make a mistake, or this bullshit. And every time I've just pushed myself and I've crushed it. I hope that this information that I've just shared with you has inspired you somewhat to, you know, take a really good hard look at yourself, take a better look at your environment and your life and the experiences that you've lived with and how you've grown and what's been happening in your life right now, and where you are, because for things to change, you have to change. If nothing changes, nothing changes. And we were born to grow, not grow in age and just sit around and freaking expect things to happen, because great things don't happen if you don't take chances, if you don't take risks. Great things happen because you take risks. And it doesn't always have to work out in your favor. It needs to just fucking work, whether it's a negative or a positive. Don't even look at it like that. Look at it as it's going to either be a win or it's going to be a challenge. I'm either going to win or I'm going to learn. And in having that kind of mindset, that's what's required in order for you to continue to grow and live your best life, because the success that you achieve doesn't happen because of all the wins. It happens because of all the lessons. And it's a building block, you know, of a lesson, learning, making a mistake, taking the risk. This is wrong. I won't do that again. I'll keep moving, you know. And sometimes we just don't make the mistake because we're afraid. We're afraid of what might happen, and it might not be the right decision. And the truth is, you'll never know if it's the right decision if you don't make a freaking decision. And so whatever that decision is for you that you know you need to make right now, make it. Make the decision, because it's going to teach you something. It's either going to be a lesson or it's going to be the right decision. And you're going to go, I'm so happy that I made that decision. Or it's going to be like, damn, I thought that was the right decision. And see, that's the beautiful thing, because what we're going into now as I'm speaking is we're going into your intuition. So the more that you develop this stronger, loving relationship with yourself and connecting with yourself more, what happens is you start to get really in tune with your intuition. And so that internal guidance system, right, that compass, that energy within you that speaks to you without speaking to you, you feel it. You feel that there's something that you need to do. You feel that there's something makes sense for you. You feel that it's right for you, right? And now sometimes what's going to happen, in order for you to build a stronger intuitive power for you to make the right decisions according to you, because you only know what you feel, you have to make some decisions that are not going to be the right decisions, that you don't know that they're going to be the wrong decisions, but you got to make them so that you learn. And then you'll pick up on, oh my gosh, that was my intuition. And I took the risk. I made the decision. It was right. Okay, great. So now we're building that confidence and that connection within our intuition, within ourselves. You see, if you never use that intuition and that energy within yourself, then you'll never build it. It'll never get stronger. And sometimes we have to listen and think and feel and then choose and decide and then make the wrong decision and go, oh, I didn't read that right. Let me debunk that a little bit. Let me look at that and figure out why I listened and thought that my intuition was saying that that was the right decision. But then when I made the decision, it was a lesson I needed to learn, or it was something that I thought was right, but it wasn't. That's the power. And that's how I've learnt within myself of how to make the right choices for myself and whether or not something is right for me. And I always go back to, like, does it make sense? Whatever your decision is, like, does it make sense to you? Does it feel? How does it feel? What does it feel like? Like, your feelings are real. So many of us dismiss the way that we feel, and we're looking for outside validation or outside approval, and we ask too many people for their opinions, and then we get clouded and we don't know what the fuck to do. When really deep down, you already know. And yeah, sometimes it's great to seek advice. It's great to have a coach. It's great to have a best friend. It's great to have people in your life that you can communicate with, that you can brainstorm with. And that's what my coaching program is so amazing and powerful, because we get to spend time every week together in these breakout rooms, and 5 or 6 of us just connect and we brainstorm. We talk about stuff. We learn stuff together. We ask questions. We get clarity on things. What do you think of this? What do you think of that? And so everyone has something to give. We all have things to learn together, and we've all been through so much that we get to come together and actually help each other, because we've all got something to give. And that's beautiful. That's the power. That's why I call it the superpower mastermind, because it's not just one person. It's us together. But I'm just saying, like, brainstorm. I have people in my life that I'm close to, that I know I can call or I can communicate with, that I know will give me sound advice or give me their opinion or let me think of things in a different specific way, so that then I can make a better discerned decision for myself. But sometimes I do have to listen to my intuition, and I already know. And that even happened to me recently, where I wasn't sure about something. It made sense for me. I kind of went in. Then I got someone else involved in my team, and then it was like a month later that I kind of realized, and I felt it within myself, that it wasn't the right decision. I wasn't going to pursue this business venture. And then I just did it with confidence, because I knew it wasn't right for me. And so I closed it off. And I didn't need anyone else to come in and go, hey, Luke, what are you doing about that? Is that making sense? Is that right for you? Are you what are you doing? And I'm like, no one had to do that. I did it myself. I knew it, and that's also what comes with self-confidence, self-worth, self-love. You have this stronger, loving relationship with yourself where you don't second guess yourself. And that's why, most importantly, it's so crucial for you to have that independence in your life, but also in your relationship, if you have one, if you have a partner, because that can also mess with your intuition, with your compass of what you're supposed to be doing. If you've got a partner that, like, is always trying to give you their opinion and try to, like, pursue like your way of thinking, that it's not the right way, or that you should do this or you should do that, and it's kind of going against the way that you are and what you think, then you're going to have an issue. And you're always going to feel like, you can't be yourself. And that's the true freedom and peace that you can achieve in your life, is when you have a healthy relationship where you can actually be yourself, where you're not in a relationship where someone's constantly telling you that, no, don't do that, or don't wear that, or don't be like that, or don't think like that, or no, that's wrong, or no, you can't do that, or right? And that's where you're confined. That's where you're just in a fucking prison. And if that's the kind of relationship that you want to be in, well, that's your life. That's up to you. But I'm just helping you become aware that a healthy relationship is a relationship where you empower each other to become the best versions of yourselves. Where you love each other unconditionally, and you're able to be yourself. And you thrive off each other's confidence to be able to express yourself and be yourself the way you are, not to feel like I need to change to make the other person happy. But anyway, guys, I'm going to love you and leave you. I'm going to get to another appointment that I got to get to pretty much straight away. But it's beautiful to spend some time with you. I'm sending you so much love. Never give up on yourself. And just keep pushing forward, because every day is a new day. It's a new opportunity, okay? And don't let one thing that happens in your day screw up your whole day. In order for you to achieve results that most people won't achieve, you have to be willing to do things that most people won't do. And what most people won't do is they won't do things when they don't feel like doing them. So when you don't feel like doing something, that's when you have to do it. So an easy example of that, I'll leave you with this, is when you don't feel like going to the gym, go to the gym. And if you understand that, then there's going to be a lot of moments and experiences in your life that are going to come up where you don't feel like doing it, but because you are disciplined and you have a strong mind, you'll do them. And that's why you will achieve those, extraordinary results in your life versus the rest of the people who kind of like subside to, don't feel like it, I'm just going to not do it. I don't feel like doing it. Procrastination comes in, the drinking or the distractions, or something else comes up, and then you lose yourself. I hope that kind of gives you some insight and some motivation, reminders as well, because we need these reminders that you have to be more powerful than your feelings. You have to be strong-minded to do the things that you need to do to get yourself to where you deserve to be. Okay, so never give up on yourself. Make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. Share this episode with your friends and family so that more people can stay inspired, stay focused, stay positive, and most importantly, so we can also keep expanding, because the more that we expand and grow, the more that we change the world, because we do change ourselves when we start doing what's right for us and we start not conforming to what our family, friends, people we love, society expects of us, which is what is limiting us from actually being free. And you actually stepping into your greatness and understanding the greatness and power and magic that you have within yourself that you haven't discovered yet, because you've never taken this road before, right? Because we're afraid of what people are going to think of us. And we're not here to do that shit. We're not here to be afraid of what people are going to think of us. We're here to be more afraid of losing ourselves because we keep conforming to what other people want us to do and be. Fuck that. I'll see you on the next episode. See you later. Thank you for joining me on this journey of self-discovery and growth. If you're ready to grow and reach your full potential and find inner peace, send me a DM that says, I want inner peace, and I'll send you the next steps. You can accomplish anything you set your mind to. When you change your mind, you change your whole life. So don't hesitate and send that DM over to me. Myself and my team can't wait to meet you and witness your transformation in full glory. See you next week.